Yeah, what's popping, y'all? Back at it again. It's your boy DJ Dusky. I know it's been a minute, and I was supposed to been here, but I've been doing a couple other channels trying to build them up, see what's going on. Um, with just some different stuff, man. I just get tired of doing reaction videos because I feel like I'm eating off the backs of what others have already brought to the table in terms of their songs, their music, their videos, which I know um reactions do a lot for. It can do a lot for an artist or a label or whatever. But I got sick of it, man. So it's time to start doing something different. But in this case, let's talk about the Takashi business. What's going on? I'm sure every by now everybody's heard the proceedings of what's going on in court. Everybody's heard um all that's going on with the clips that's been released by the federal government. And I don't know how y'all feel about it. I know the way I felt about it upon first listen. It was like it was disgusting, to be honest. And I know a lot of the younger, it seems like the younger crowd is more accepting of it than what the older crowd is. It's almost like, what's your definition of gangster? And is with Takashi calling himself a gangster and telling people to s his d with your mama's lips, and he's letting his nuts hang and blah blah blah, and then all the Breakfast Club interview stuff. And I even went back and watched a couple, well, both of the Breakfast Club interviews. And on the first one, he seemed like it was just he was all in. The next one, you could kind of feel what was coming. On there, he specifically stated he didn't fear nothing in the world but God and the feds, which is the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigations. And when the feds came down, what did he do? He said in the clips, which I'm gonna play in a second, they asked him, when did you go into federal custody? When did you start to live in federal custody? When did you decide to turn over, to rap, to start to cooperate? And he said the next day after he said, quote, after we were taken down. So the very next day is when he decided to go ahead and cooperate, because he knew it was going to be a hell of a fight. And the feds ain't slick. They slick, man. And they do a whole lot in terms of psychological warfare. Takashi, when he went down, he was 22 years old. What was the time presented to him? No less than 47 years. 22 plus 47 is 69. You're going to give Tekashi 6ix9ine 47 years at 22 years old. It's all the mind game with the feds. That's why they have a 98% conviction rating, according to everything I've been reading. That's a super percentage. I mean, I don't know how your boy did it. What's his name? The Teflon Don. They even mentioned them in there, like the mob and all of that. Like, the Teflon Don, he beat all of them Fed cases. Like, that's not easy to do. And I think Tekashi knew that. He was probably already looking into federal cases and how to fight the feds and all of that, because he said he had 6 federal agent cars outside of his house whenever he was coming out in the mornings or going in at night. He already knew they was coming down on him. So what he went ahead and rolled over, because he didn't really have a super duper tight bond with these guys to begin with. And then when you go on and you hear Jim, then we didn't know it, but come to find out, it was Jim Jones that was talking to Mel Murda on the phone about he needs to be super duper violated and all of that. But I think once he learned all of that was going down, it probably gave him the go ahead to go ahead and feel like, I'm about to go ahead and rat. And I ain't saying it's right or wrong. I don't know. For my personal taste, it's disgusting, but who am I to say? You know what I mean? Like, this is a kid. I mean, given he said he grew up in Bushwick, Brooklyn, so he came from the slums, and I'm sure he's been privy to them G codes, especially if you're hanging around 9 Trey blood members. And even before that, you could see him with the Crips and Hoovers or whoever he was with. But still, that don't make you no gangster. I think him growing up and the way he was describing it in the court case of working different jobs and working as a busboy and working with his brother and seeing his dad get killed, I don't think any of that lends itself to being a gangster. I think he was more or less a good kid. And then on his first tour, he went with The Rock. He was doing a rockish rap type of deal. Said he made like $2,000 off of that total in profits. So he just did it for the experience. Then you come back and you start talking to different people in the neighborhood. Some of these dudes is bona fide gangsters. Shawty, as we can see now from all the court proceedings, You could tell Shotty was really about that life. Like ain't no way around it. Ain't no two ways about it. You taking a knee and shooting at the vehicles that's following y'all and all of that. You shooting into Barclays. You going at it with Casanova's team. Casanova 2 times. You can say what you want about him. They talking about he ain't no gangster. He snitched and all of that. He grew up in the prison system. He's a gangster, dog. And if he ain't, the dudes that's with him is gangsters. You can hear if you go back and listen to the A$AP Rocky interview when he mentions meeting Casanova, and then they talked afterwards. He's the one who held down A$AP Rocky when he was locked up as a youngster. He was running the yard. He was running the car, the room what they was in. He's a gangster, dog. So you going heads up with him or whoever he is, and not just to hold down Tekashi, but to hold down this thing of ours. Like we're not letting nobody come in between us and getting this money. So if that means Tekashi's gonna go out and tell people to SSD, even if it's Ebro on the radio station or whoever, we're not letting nothing come in between us and getting this money. So with the image it takes, which he said in the court proceedings, he noticed once he did Gummo and had. It wasn't hard. It was Seiko Billy. When he met Seiko Billy and was talking to him about getting all these Bloods involved, then he finally met Shotty, the dude they called Treyway. So when he met him, he told Tekashi, "Look, little nigga, we behind you." Brandon, what's up? What's up, Killer BH? Bro said I heard he snitching on Timmy Turner, talking about he got fair. Parents, you monkey, bro. Anyway, what up, Killer BH? But dog, when he met Shotty told him, "Look, we got you, little nigga. Keep pushing." Come to find out, he really did have something. So he starts going hard in the streets, and he's seen after that very first Gummo video and how it blew up and went viral, just absolutely bananas. It changed his life. He knew that was the formula. You got this kid that nobody is ever going to see as a gangster with the different multicolor hair. He calls it the rainbow hair. And then he's young and he's Mexican. And you got all of these niggas in here with all of these fresh red bandanas. You could tell somebody just bought them out of the corner store. It ain't like they worn and niggas is wearing them every day, which I'm sure they was mostly Bloods. But you could tell they went out and bought them red racks for that video. So you got all of these niggas in the video with their guns, whether it's the little pea shooter you see at the end of the video or whatever. He even points out in the court proceedings that that Shotty got a gun right here and right there and all of that shit. But when they see all of that and see this little kid, Mexican kid with rainbow colored hair, it seems so far-fetched and so hard to believe. It's like, damn, can this really exist? So people really wanted to find out if this shit was real. Come to find out it wasn't real in the end, but for the time being, they did everything in their power to make it seem real. And they was holding this shit down. And they was going to war with whoever was going to try to come in between them and that paper. And they had all of them Bloods behind them with Mel Murder, with Mel Matrix, whatever you want to call him. He's been in the game for a long time. And people like seeming like he's just now meeting Jim Jones or something. Like he's been back with Dipset for the longest. You know what I mean? This was just a new way to get money. So then Harv, the other nigga that's highly ranked in the 9 Trey Blood set, and Shotty, which they say Mel Matrix is the godfather, but Harv and Shotty is right up under him. So they going back and forth. Like they both playing tug of war. At first they said it was all good. And then they playing tug of war, trying to find out who he's going to who he's going to have his alliance with, which in a perfect world, it would have been 50-50. It would have been both. Like they could have all lived and made money. And it's always seems like in the black community, things have to blow up because of some money, but they couldn't make it work. And essentially Tekashi sided with Shotty. And that's when he got kidnapped by Harv and his dude. They went out, took him on a little ride from hell and beat him up real good and all of that. Got the jewelry, had the baby mama bring the jewelry down from the apartment with his daughter's Minnie Mouse Pampers box and all of that. Like they went out and took theirs. I don't know how they plan to get money after that. Maybe they was cutting their ties with him, speaking on Harv and his dudes. But as far as Shotty was going, I think that really killed everything when he did the second Breakfast Club interview. When you came out and said Treyway is just something I came up with because I was screaming it. He even asked Charlemagne and Envy and Yee, I'll give you $100 if you can name somebody else in Treyway. They couldn't. You would have thought that they would have said Alshon Martin, the dude that was supposed to be with Treyway, the first signed artist, and he was from the West Coast. I think he was a Hoover Crip, but nobody could name off another Treyway artist. So it was seeming like he was shitting on Treyway real bad, which he was, you know what I mean? But I think that was all because he was trying to distance himself from them because he knew the feds was coming down to get him. But then that just sped things up. See, I think that's one thing people and nobody's mentioning. Whenever the feds came down and they essentially ended the operation and took everybody into custody, that wasn't even the time that they planned on doing that. They had to hurry it up and speed it up and cut off the investigation because they got the TAP on the line and heard Jimmy and Mel Murda talking about they got to violate him. They're going to super violate him. So they was thinking, damn, this kid might get killed. Now it's going to kind of be on our watch if these investigations ever are presented to the public. It's gonna be like, well, damn, why didn't y'all stop it if you knew it was coming? But even more so, they knew they was gonna get their man, and they really wanted Tekashi because he's the money maker. I don't know why the fucking, excuse my language, the feds or the NYPD, they all seem to have it a hard on for being able to take down rappers. I don't understand that. I don't know if they might be involved in something, but it ain't no more than these other people or gangsters or whatever you want to call them, gang bangers, gang members, that's doing anybody else out there. I think they just like the name and the acclaim of having somebody that is really, really popping in the world so they can be a really big case for them. But they had to speed that up, though, is what I was trying to say, because they feared that Tekashi might get killed. But I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. Let me know what y'all think. I would love to get a call in. I'm going to go live again tonight around 7 o'clock. So if you could tune in, I appreciate you. Hope y'all having a great day. DJ Dusky, I'm out this thing, y'all. Peace.